Welcome to the new podcast, episode number 38. My name is Steven, joined as always by producer extraordinaire and co-host with the most, Kelly. My man, let's get to it. Huge week of MMA news. Obviously, all the conclusions of the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals all coming down this week. What a week we had for sports entertainment, especially Bellator 222 going down in Madison Square Gardens and really putting on one hell of a show. One hell of a show went down in New York that night with the Bellator banner. Talk some video games, and as always, backed by popular demand. People are talking about this show, oddly enough, reviewing the reviewers. I'm hearing people talk about it. We'll break it down. Back with a classic this week. Getting to it here, folks. I think, oddly enough, it was kind of rumors had been swirling around about this for a very long time, and now it's almost official. Chris Cyborg, Justino possibly going to WWE. Ooh. Yeah, I know. She wants to test free agency. She's going out there after the Spencer fight. Her contract's up, and maybe take on. She wants to take on Ronda Rousey in a super fight in WWE. You know what I mean? I think she could probably make one hell of a big paycheck with that. And who knows though? I guess she's a big wrestling fan. I'd like to see her do it. Kelly, what do you think? Would you like to see her in the WWE?
I think she's proven everything she needs to in MMA. Why not make some actual money in another sport? You know what I mean? She's put her body through so much already. Mm-hmm. I mean, not that she's not going to be in WWE. Obviously, that's pretty physical and intense. Mm-hmm. But she's already done everything she needs to in MMA. She might as well make some money.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe almost like an exit like Ronda, kind of like, losing a few times and maybe, get out. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe she wins again and still is like has that Brock Lesnar type appeal where she can jump between the two organizations and who wants to pay her more, using it as a bargaining chip, as we've seen Brock Lesnar do to an extent. So if she takes that Brock Lesnar type stance, I thought she'd go with more a Ronda stance, but Ronda's MMA career is officially over, and that's not her choice. It's officially over 100%. I don't know if she could. Wasn't Cyborg in a movie as well with Misha Tate or something like that? Like where she played like the bad girl. I think she was like in an MMA movie.
She's only 33 years old.
Oh wow! Holy moly! I thought she was older than that. Yeah, That's what I was going to ask. How old is Chris Cyborg? That's crazy.
She could still fight.
She's younger than me.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
That's hilarious. Who knew? I guess the weather and the beating she's taken, is obviously
Fight Valley. She was.
Oh yeah. Fight Valley. Yeah. And that's kind of funny. Maybe she turns into a movie career like Ronda too. Steals a little bit of both. You can have best of both worlds. Use a little bit of Brock's strategy, use a little bit of Ronda's strategy, and I think she can make some good money. I think she could be a great heel in WWE, and you heard it here first, folks. I think she can be a great heel, the big tough girl. WWE loves that shit, and she actually is the big tough girl. So I think that's awesome. I think that's super awesome. But taking on other free agency too, you know what I mean? Could she make a splash in Bellator? I'm sure Bellator would be interested in throwing her a lot of money. I'm sure there's a lot of organizations out there that are willing to toss Chris Cyborg one hell of a paycheck.
She can definitely start like the women's division. Like Bellator has one, but not really. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. This is like almost like an undercard.
Of course. Yeah, no, a little bit. I totally agree. Just because they don't have the talent at all.
Yeah, almost like the UFC, what do they call them? Fight Pass prelims?
Oh, the fight nights.
Yeah, before, like...
No, not the fight night, the contender series.
But no, before the prelims, they actually show some, like, fights on the Fight Pass, I think.
Oh, okay, weird.
You have, like, a thing, but it's only, like 2 fights or something. And it's people no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
That's what the women's division is like in Bellator.
It kind of is. No, it kind of is because they have the stars and that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There really isn't that rising star, the contender. I think that Laredo girl, I think she's obviously a star, but she's super unproven. She's like, you know what I mean?
Fighters.
Yeah, exactly, right, exactly. And I think that's the reason why Chris Cyborg could go over there and
bring people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. People want to fight Chris Cyborg, so they'll go to Bellator just to fight her.
and people can say what they want, but in my eyes and in my opinion, I think women's MMA started with the Chris Cyborg versus well, now I'm drawing
Gina
a blank.
Carano.
Yeah, Gina Carano. Yeah, exactly. The Chris Cyborg Gina Carano feud, I think, was what put women's MMA on the map, in my opinion.
I agree.
It was a huge moment, and that was a huge win for Cyborg. And she could go over to another organization and do the same thing, start a revolution there, and be the toughest one there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
I could see people like from the women's divisions in the UFC to go into Bellator just to fight Chris Cyborg because they never got the chance to.
Yeah.
That's how you make a name for yourself.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
now that someone's beat her, people are gonna be confident.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
And she's gonna Cyborg's gonna end up whipping their asses, but.
Oh,
can
of course, of course. That I think that's the appeal, obviously, of it. That's the appeal of it, exactly that. Who knows? Maybe that's maybe how they build their star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is our star who knocked out Chris Cyborg. You know what I mean? And I think that's huge for them. You know, we see that kind of with ONE FC. You know, with the guy who, you know what I mean, the guy who beat Eddie Alvarez and the guy who beat Sage Northcutt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those guys turned my head. You know what I mean? But we'll find out. Sticking in the women's division, Jessica Andrade has been named her new opponent. Weili Zhang. Kelly, you ever for the belt? Weili
Familiar
Zhang.
name.
Yeah.
Familiar name.
Yeah, I had no clue who she is. She's fought a bunch. Yeah, she's fought 3 times on UFC. She's only, you know, hasn't really wowed. She has, you know, 2 wins, 1 finish, 2 and 2 decisions. But I thought it was weird, you know what I mean? And it's going down. Well, maybe that's why, because it's going down in China.
Well, she beat Tisha Torres.
I know, but Tisha Torres, she's had a bit of a rough run recently, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's super tough. Yeah, she's super tough, but she's been on the downslide. Going down August 31st in the Sichuan region of China. Yeah, I was like, who the hell is Weili Zhang? Who the hell is she? Yeah, see, she's on a 3-fight losing streak, right? So
all tough girls. So Jessica. Andrade,
of course, she's only
Joanna,
fighting.
And then
She's only fighting top 5 fighters. That's the problem with Tisha Torres. Let's break it down. 6 degrees of separation. Weili Magnum Zhang. I like Magnum as a nickname. Good nickname. Not bad at all. 115, 29 years old, fighting out of Hebei, China. 19-1.
Wow.
Let's break it down here. 9 wins by KO, 7 by submission, only 3 decisions. That's good, and she's only lost by decision. I wonder if it was her first fight. Boom, it was. That's crazy. That's just crazy how some of these people, they lose their first fight, usually by decision, jitters, and then go on a tear after that. They never lose again. Good to get it out of the way. I think that's the reason why it's one of the cooler things to do.
A lot of times too, like they go into the first fight thinking that they can just knock the person out, and they realize it's not true, and they train completely differently after that.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true too. You gotta, especially in an MMA fight, you can't rely on one punch power or be those dudes who are, you know what I mean. He always talks about that guy.
I'm just gonna smash him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm just gonna see red, bro, and then it's all over, man. You know what I mean? It's not gonna.
Then you
it doesn't happen that way. Shit. I'm just looking through her resume though. She hasn't really fought anybody though. You know what I mean? This is another mismatch by the terrible UFC matchmaker right now. Is that what we're seeing here right now? I don't really see, you know what I mean, any other name. Just the only fact that she was undefeated and she is from China, and they're obviously desperate for Chinese talent. Even her, she did fight Jessica Aguilar, who's just fighting. And like I said, Tisha Torres is tough too, but Tisha Torres, is kind of in a rough spot right now.
She's
Jessica,
only lost 4 fights though.
yeah, exactly. Jessica Aguilar, she's not that tough either, and she's the one who she finished. And I don't know who the hell Danielle Taylor is, So it's one of those weird ones, I bet you, this is something I haven't done before on the show, and it's if you look at the talent of those fighters, you can see these dudes are like 9-0 or like 11-0, like these younger guys, but all the people they've beaten are like 0-4, 1-2, 0-2, He's kind of had a bit of padded stats. He is tough, and he deserves that extra shot. But sometimes you want to see, like we've talked about on the show in the past, you want to see that UFC cast off. Come to this local organization where you fight, and you want to kick his ass. That's when you get people's heads turning. Oh, he's beating this guy. Oh, That's when you want to get not beating dudes who are 0-4 and 1-5 and shit like that. Weird though, And what's even more weird about this move is that Rose wants a rematch. I think as the former champ, they do it in wrestling. You can force your clause for a rematch, instant rematch. You always get an instant rematch. And I think especially with a fight where she was winning totally handily too, only just to get slammed on her head, almost a fluke slam. It's odd that they aren't going to give it to her, but I guess money. I guess when it comes down to it, it's money. This is obviously going to be a huge card with the UFC building that new performance center in China. It's going to be a big deal. They're trying to tap that resource of just the sheer number in China. In Hong Kong, and obviously the surrounding places like Mongolia and all, Russia obviously being right there as well. It never hurts.
It's a great way to stack your lower weight class divisions.
Yeah, exactly what we need.
More 125s.
More 125s.
But it might actually be exciting.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's good, but
really good talent in there.
But then put Rose against Jessica Andrade as a rematch in China. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would be huge. That would be a huge rematch.
And then maybe have
Wiley
fight for a number one contender.
Yeah, exactly. Great call. Great. Put her up against a super. An actual,
who would you put up against her? Maybe like Joanna.
Yeah, even Joanna. You know what I mean? Exactly. So totally, Joanna totally comes to mind. If you want to be tough, here's a good one for you. I know.
But then you'd have to give Joanna another title shot if she won.
Even, but yeah, that's still. But I see what you're saying. I think they would. I think you. One name comes to mind is a girl who's been really talking how she deserves a title shot. Is Michelle Watterson, the karate hottie.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect,
yeah, exactly. She's been talking about a title shot. Give her that fight.
And she's half Chinese?
She's half Chinese. Exactly.
That's perfect.
She's Taekwondo, which is more of a Korean sport, but still to put her over there. Why aren't you guys calling me? Why aren't you guys calling me? Idiots.
Because then that would be super exciting too. Because someone's gonna fight for the belt. So you're still going to be cheering for her.
Make it for an interim title, am I right?
Yeah. Exactly.
More belts, more belts, more belts.
Someone's got to fight for that Snickers belt.
Exactly. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. But, and Rose wants to be, but I think maybe Rose's protocol is holding her back because that's going to just be in August, so that's not too far away. That's only 2 months away, so maybe Rose's concussion protocol is keeping her out from this match, and they want to get another one in. And I think it's more timing with that center being built. Moving on, folks. Did you hear about the crane that fell on Macy Chazon's apartment?
Say what?
Yeah, a crane. Macy Chazon. She's living in Texas, and all of a sudden she just hears like a loud smash, and like they were in an earthquake. Crane fell right through her apartment building and killed a person, injured a bunch of other people. It wasn't, just to think about it. But she can't go back into her house. She says she has everything in there too. You know what I mean? Because the house is on the whole apartment building's unstable because the crane fucking fell on it. So she's got no passport, no nothing right now, because she can't go. She just has the shirt and sandals. And she wasn't even wearing shoes. She had to walk through broken glass and stuff and got cuts on her feet. Super crazy. But she's okay. You know what I mean? The good thing is she's okay. But that's going to just, suck for her training, you know what I mean? Because I think, she must have a fight coming up here. But still, you know what I mean? Lost everything, all of her stuff. Just at least she got her dog out of there. and she's in a good place where like a organization that's like $1 billion company that can always like help her out too. So that's always good with that. Lots of news for the women's division this week, oddly enough. Like actual news, turning event news. Mackenzie Dern had her baby.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
I wonder how long till she
Yeah.
starts training again.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly. How long until she starts training, or how long until she, has an announcement, or, you know what I mean, of an idea of who she's going to fight.
I always thought it was weird because you got, as a man or a woman, a finite amount of time that you can actually fight for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could have kids pretty late into life.
That's true.
So it's kind of found it odd that, like, at her prime of her life when she was winning, that she decided to have a child.
Yeah.
If it was a decision or not. That always it's weird to me, but congratulations.
Speaking out of anger.
Congratulations.
I'm joking, of course.
I thought she was gonna do really good in MMA, and I don't know.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying. Just for someone to be on such a rise, coming from jiu-jitsu, like one of the best, if not the best, jiu-jitsu girl in the women's division.
Yeah.
What she was, tapping out Gabby Garcia and then moving over to the UFC and being undefeated, and definitely somebody who was, handily beating anyone in front of her, and especially for her to have moved over to something and found a home to really, she may do good, she may do bad, but really you don't want to lose momentum. I think that's what life's about, and that's especially sports, 100%. Whether it be any sport, football, basketball, hockey, especially fighting with boxing, kickboxing, MMA, momentum is everything.
Yeah, and to be just like in the biggest league in MMA, just like the highest you could possibly go, and then
I'm gonna take a break.
Take a break for like over a year. It's just.
I guess she's just in a place where she's just like, the UFC isn't that big to me.
As long as she's happy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the important thing. Big news coming into the 205 division. Chris Weidman announcing he's moving up to 205.
Nice.
He's planning an October return at 205.
It's going to be like Gaslam.
Let's see what happens. I think he's having a hard time with the weight cut. For a dude who his chin is getting worse, that's not a good division to go to.
Yeah.
But maybe his fist gets better. Maybe his punch get better. Maybe he can be a little healthier.
Maybe he's a little bit faster in that division.
Who knows? I'm trying to think of any positives on this note, because it was an odd move for me too, and I think it's more of a desperate move for him right now. Sure, cutting to 185. He is a bit of a bigger dude.
How tall is he? Do we know?
I don't know. He's got to be at least 6'1" or something. You know what I mean? But he is wide and everything. Weidman. Am I right? Laughing at my own jokes here.
Chris Hemsworth is 6'3". I guess a lot of people ask that.
Oh. He is very popular with the ladies.
Weidman. Oh, here we go. What is that? 1.88 meter. Come on.
Oh, jeez Louise. Give me some feats over here.
6'2".
6'2". Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's still pretty tall for 185. Yeah, maybe he could be okay. Who, Kelly, though, does he fight?
Yo Romero.
Wow. You couldn't dodge me anymore.
205. It's a good question. Would be a good fight for him at 205.
I think a dude like OSP, you know what I mean, would have to be on that list. I think OSP is an easy one. Obviously, wouldn't be fighting Gian Vellante because they're best friends. But I think the one that makes the most sense to me, and I think it's for a dude who's also new to 205, is Luke Rockhold.
Oh, okay, that does make sense.
Yeah, I think that'd be an easy fight for both of them to start off with. But there is a lot of options at 205. But still, I'd like to see. I just have to see how he sizes up. You know what I mean? You got dudes like Glover. There's another dude he could fight too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Possibilities are endless. John Jones. Just gonna go with John
Wait.
Jones right off the bat. Moving on. Sticking with the East Coasters. Azure Man Sterling or Peter Yan? Who deserves a next crack at the 135-pound belt, Kelly? That's a bigger question, man. Who do you think out of those two dudes? You know, they both won like their tournament wins at the last UFC that they were on. I think it was 228. Who do you think, in your mind, especially from that showing we had, Peter Yan or Azure Man Sterling, who deserves the next shot at Henry Cejudo and 135-pound gold?
I think Henry Cejudo moves up and fights, and they fight for an intern.
You read my mind on that though, man, because I wasn't saying for a belt, but I was saying these dudes should both fight each other. I haven't seen enough for either one to be a title shot just yet. I totally agree, but an interim belt, now you're thinking.
That will get people watching.
That's the theme of the show, belts. Everyone gets a belt.
You get a belt. You get a belt.
You get a belt for joining the UFC.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it could be like the belt collector. So if you do get a belt, but if you lose it, you know, you lose it, but someone can collect belts. You know what I mean? So then someone can have like 30 belts.
And they can steal them from each other.
Yeah,
And the more belts you get, the more you get paid. So they jump each other in halls, just like smash each other, and then like people film it in the back, and they like put it up on the pay-per-views.
That's
It's like WWE.
That's like the WWE 24/7 belt right now. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
People just warm up belts. Ends up John Jones just has like 20 belts. He's like, I'm the highest paid athlete ever. Fuck you, Connor.
But how do you carry them around though? That's even another question. We really open up a can of worms. How do you carry around 20 belts?
That's a good question.
Oh, you'd have to have like a cart, like
Yeah.
you have a cart, like an entourage, like protecting them, like armed guards. You know what I mean? Or do you have like a suit that's just like made out of belts? It's like an Iron Man suit. Like the more belts,
Yeah,
the more
exactly,
armor you get. I don't know. Oh shit!
This is great.
This is too much. But if I had to decide, like I said, I don't think they should be fighting for the belt. But if I had to decide, I'm gonna go Peter Yan. Azure Man Sterling has had a loss recently. You know, he hasn't really beaten. He's not beating people handily. He's kind of just winning easy fights too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't really followed either of them.
Exactly. Big announcement of 185. Uriah Hall taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. in Vancouver. First big fight for a Vancouver card has been announced. So that should actually be a really good one. Going down at 185. Antonio Carlos Jr. having that had like a great showing against that Ian Heinisch. But it ended up coming up short in the later rounds just because of Heinish's work ethic. I think that should be a good fight, but it's a grappler versus the striker.
I wonder what version of Uriah comes out.
That's a tough one. That's a total tough one. What Uriah Hall shows up? It's Vancouver, so you know what I mean. He could get high, so could be the
Sometimes he's
decision
just
making.
like a killer.
Yep.
Other times he's just like timid and scared.
Kind of like Anderson Silva a little bit. You know what I mean? Dos Anjos' new opponent has been announced too. Rafael Dos Anjos will take on Leon Edwards in the UFC San Antone card. That's kind of big news. Leon Edwards getting the 2-piece in a soda or the 3-piece in a soda from Jorge Masvidal backstage, and now he doesn't get his revenge fight because Jorge Masvidal has kind of skyrocketed since that Darren Till knockout. He has to take on Dos Anjos. Good fight for Dos Anjos. They're finally giving him a striker. You know, the last 3 fights, this dude has to take on all these like college wrestlers. You know what I mean? And not just low college wrestlers, like elite All-American college wrestlers. They finally give him a striker in Leon Edwards. I'm excited to see that fight. Talking briefly, some wrestling news. AEW making huge news, announcing their 2 upcoming cards. They got the first one, which is kind of like a lower end card, which is good. It's good. The important thing is it's free. AEW Fighter Fest. This is streamed free June 29th. And it's actually got a really, really good matchups on it. Especially for free. Man, there you go. That is how you do it. You get people watching with a streamable episode, really, of your product. And also announcing their show in Chicago, August 31st, going down. AEW All Out, sold out in 15 minutes. It's obviously a smaller venue, but still, the hype is real, folks. It is real. Just with how good of the shows these guys are putting on, people are coming in droves to check this out, and I can't wait. Christopher Daniels on it. Adam Page will take on Jimmy Havoc and Jungle Boy and MJF in a four-way. That should actually be good. Jon Moxley making his debut against Joey Janela. And Kenny Omega will take on the Lucha Brothers with the Young Bucks. And the Laredo Kid will be on the team of the Lucha Brothers. That is crazy. In a 6-man tag. That is awesome. I can't wait for that match. Huge fan of Pentagon Jr. Huge fan. It's awesome that they actually won their belts back, the AAA belts. They won them back in Mexico against the Young Bucks, and I thought that was actually a really crazy, exciting match. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Lucha Brothers, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. putting on a great show as always. Especially they have a really good, really good, I think, relationship with the Young Bucks, and they're always putting on great matches. Cody Rhodes takes on Darby Allin, and main event in a hardcore match, Michael Nakazawa takes on Alex J. Belly. Have no clue who either one of those dudes are. Very odd. Very odd. Going down, though. I'm excited about this Fighter Fest, though. Free. Super excited. Let's talk some... What time? We're doing good. We're doing perfect time. Right on schedule. Let's talk some video games. Zelda Breath of the Wild. My fucking God. So crazy. I haven't really talked about it much since last show. Obviously, I haven't really played that much, but it was just so insane. The Divine Beast Von Ruta, Kelly. This part was insane, man. So it's like this. I think I touched base a little bit on the last show. It's like this giant elephant, right? That's like this special beast that I need to have on my team in order to fight the evil Ganon. And so it's like he's like a massive contraption. He's like a massive robot, but it's like the size of a fucking mountain, Kelly. So it's like so crazy. So I have to get inside, figure out all this shit, and I broke down. I had to look up how to get this one thing. The puzzles in this game are challenging, but it was just so crazy. So he's got like these cogs in him, and there's like different water spouts coming, because he's a water guy, right, Kelly? And I totally had forgotten, because I played the game and I took a break for a few days and I went back and played the game. I totally forgotten that when I had unlocked, there's like 9 nodes inside this thing that I have to put my tablet thing on and activate the robot, take over bit by bit, piece by piece. And I didn't realize that I eventually gained control to work his trunk. So I could work his trunk and shoot water with his trunk. Like I said, this thing's the size of a mountain. Like, I'm not over-exaggerating. It's the size of a mountain, what I'm inside of. And so I control it. So I get up to the top. I didn't figure it out. So I watched a video, figured out that I could spin this big wheel by having him move his trunk. There's like 12 different angles I can set his trunk at. 12, you know what I mean? So I could move his trunk all the way to the back. It started turning this wheel, and I had to use my time stop just at a perfect time, and then hop into the room before the gate closed, and I can get the next one. So it was like, for me to figure that out by accident was next to fucking impossible. You know what I mean? You have to have this thing move, and so, Kelly, when this wheel moves, this ball hits this thing and unlocks the door. But since, it's only at that spot at a certain time, right? So then, you know what I mean? You got to jump in, get it, and get out. And so then eventually I have to go onto his trunk. There's a node on the underside of his trunk. So I have to go, and it's shooting water the whole time. So I had to bend his nose down for a way I could get onto it. And of course, there's bad guys stuck on the tip of his nose. But like I said, it's like this huge like gangplank I'm walking on, Kelly, that's movable, that I can move. You know what I mean? It was just fucking insane. So I get to the end, and then to get onto the underside of his nose, was even a crazier challenge. So I had to I'm like edging up. I get on the top. It's like spouting water. I keep edging down, move to the backside, get the node, and then there's like a fire inside of him. So eventually I get on top of his head and crank open his skull, and then the water comes into the fire, turns and then sets the fire, and then I have to go down to the main computer, and I didn't expect to. I'm an idiot for not expecting. I thought the puzzle was so damn difficult for myself. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I didn't realize the last thing in my mind was, oh fuck, now I gotta fight a boss, and I did, and it was tough. The boss at least was the easiest part of doing it all, but I had fucked up all my weapons and was kind of out of arrow. I was low on arrows, going after all the bullshit I've been dealing with in this place. So fighting him, I was right down to the last few weapons, last 2 arrows. I defeated the Ganon boss, and it's kind of like a sad story. The girl went into the divine beast when Ganon had taken it over, and she just got killed instantly. And so her spirit lives in the divine beast, and she's just a spirit form like the king is. She can't do anything, but she can at least guide you along your way. And then she has like kind of like a sad moment how she like wishes she could see her father again, and that was a little bit of a tearjerker on that one. So it was a great storyline in the game too. So I just kind of dicked around, climbed like a massive mountain in the game. I kind of set a note. You can set like these different markers everywhere. Like you usually set them on the shrines you go to, right? I must have hit the button by accident when I was dicking around the map. So I'm like going towards a shrine that a part that was nothing. I was on this trek towards something I had marked, and there was nothing there. So, but what was there was this massive mountain. So I just kept on climbing up this mountain, and I'm at the top, and I have a jacket that keeps me warm. But I also had to eat some food to also put my cold meter down because it was so cold where I was. It was really cool how high up I was, and there was like snowballs up there, these decent sized snowballs, and you kick them down the hill, Kelly, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I was like, the physics in this game are off the fucking Richter, man. This game is fucking insane. And eventually the snowballs get too big, you can't move them. So it was just so cool, man. It was just so cool. So, but what was funny is up on top of that mountain, you think there'd be something cool. There was nothing cool, and that's what he even says. It's just the top of the mountain is nothing. A lot of people thought it was a shrine, but it's actually nothing up there. I'm sure it's some kind of end game bullshit or something like that. But it was really really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Can't say enough about it. Tune in next week, folk, for more of me rambling on about Zelda Breath of the Wild. How about that Apex, Kelly? Tomorrow. Going down, new character release. Is it going to be season 2 or is it still going to be season 1?
Oh, it'll be season 2.
Wow, season 2 going down. Apex Legends tomorrow, June 18th. Had to look at the date there.
Forget what the character is called. Electronic Art, Respawn, yeah. This is a new legend. Not that you can see it.
Yeah. Check it out, folks.
Check out this picture. Yeah, new battle pass.
Nice.
Stuff. I totally forget what the new legend is called, but she has like electric fences that she can put down so that she can like block third parties from like trying to get in. And she also has like that I don't know what you call it, like a satellite, something that she puts down.
Right.
And it like blocks all incoming projectiles, basically. I think it stops grenades too.
I wonder if it's destroyable. You know what I mean? Like if you can destroy it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It'd have to be.
You've been slaying it though recently, man. On the game, posting, man, you got some crazy ass skins too. That's what's kind of cool about the game, having those the Lodo background. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you get like unlocks like from the Apex when you win games. Or
of course,
Apex packs up until level 100, unless you get Battle Pass. But they give you on the Battle Pass, they give you like the Apex, like the unlocks or whatever they call it. I forget what they're called. And they also give you like coins so you can buy more.
Oh, right,
so I just
right.
buy them as I get the coins, and plus I just get them as I go.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can unlock quite a few cool looking skins. I think the skins look a lot better than other like battle royale game skins.
That's for sure. No, I like them too. Like some of them, like the active ones. You know what I mean? Where they're kind of funky. I totally agree. And then they got like all different styles of everything you can think of.
Oh, so the new character's name's Watson.
Oh, Watson. Yes, yeah,
Yes.
Watson.
And
Yeah.
she's the daughter of the creator of the Apex Legend Battleground. And there's like a whole story that's coming out with season 2 about her and how she kind of grew up on the Apex Legends like island while it was getting made, and she's kind of friends with all the other legends and things like that. So I don't know. I guess they're kind of building a story on top of the actual game itself. So we'll see how that goes. I guess they'll introduce new characters as part of the story as well.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully a little faster than last time, right? You know what I'm saying?
It takes forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's only so many kills I want to get with one character before I want to move on.
Of course. No, exactly. How many you up to now?
I got over 100 kills with every character.
Wow, amazing. Is that an achievement or what?
It's not an achievement. Surprise.
Come on,
I
Apex.
thought it would be.
You could be on like the national Apex team.
I don't think so. There's some really good players out there, but it's so funny because a lot of people like come into a lobby, and one guy will have like 600 to 1,000 kills.
Yeah.
And it'll look really impressive, but like that's the only character he ever uses.
Yeah, exactly. Ever.
Yeah. And if you use the other characters too, it kind of gives you a better understanding, especially when you become good at them, what they're capable of
For
doing
sure.
and what they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of helps you with the game.
Yeah, you know what they're throwing down. You know what you expect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of people think that like Lifeline could just throw down like those Lifeline robots like at will. You can use those like power up things to get it going faster, but there's only so many of those you can carry as well. And people get mad when you don't throw them down all the time. It's like, heal me. It's like, man, I just threw one down like 2 seconds ago. Where were you?
Yeah, exactly. People,
Yeah.
the worst.
We'll just need a better understanding
Yeah.
of how each character works and the dynamics of it all.
We were talking about earlier, best to worst character,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. I wonder if they will get rid of a character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I'm wondering. You know what I mean? Obviously, do you think that'll happen, or do you think they'll just keep everyone no matter what?
I think they'll keep them all just because people pay for those like care package things or whatever and get those unlocks, and some people already have like legendary skins for
That's
other
true.
things, so they don't really want to take them away. Plus they already like spent so long developing
That's
them.
true.
There's be characters that most people don't use unless they're like really good at them, like specialists, or they're noobs. They
What's
don't know
the what's the shield guy name again?
it's like, I don't know, it starts with a G.
Oh, Gibraltar. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gibraltar. The worst.
I play all the time, I don't even remember his name.
Gibraltar. You
Yeah.
never play him though. I'm sure that's
No, I still got 100 over
Yeah.
100 kills with him.
nice.
Just because I wanted to, but yeah, he was the hardest one to get kills with because basically he's a big target, and even when he throws down his huge shield, he just becomes a bigger target.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
It's like, okay, here I am. And then he has that one thing where he can throw down the I don't forget what it's called. It's just all the missiles that
rockets,
drop
yeah,
down
mhm.
or whatever. But once the new character Watson comes out, it's gonna be kind of
Yeah.
useless because I'm pretty sure every team's gonna have a Watson on it because she's gonna be so useful.
That's true. Yeah, and it's one of his best tools is going to be nullified right there and
Yeah.
then and there. Especially being a new character too. Everyone's going to totally use her.
So I was thinking that's probably the worst character in the game.
Wow.
And then
Harsh.
Yes.
I agree though. I think the whole world would probably agree with you.
For the best character, it was kind of like a three-way tie between Lifeline, Pathfinder, and Octane for me.
Oh, nice.
I don't really like Octane that much, but so many people play him because of his self-revive and his speed. That I'd have to throw him in there too.
Right.
So many people play Pathfinder too, and he is useful with his grappling hooks and everything like that. Just so for speed as well, he can keep up with Pathfinder just by throwing down that grappling hook. Plus, he can help people get to places it's pretty hard to
Yeah.
get with, especially when you're in a pinch, when you're cornered. Like your whole team's in a corner and like people are coming
Right.
at you. You can throw up one of those things, shoot up the mountain, and you're out of the way.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
It gives you a tactical advantage, and then Lifeline obviously you can heal the whole team. Plus you have saving shields, so if like you're getting third partied and two teams are shooting each other in front of you, when you're healing someone, you throw up that shield so nobody can shoot you or the person you're healing.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's super nice right there too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So they're all super useful.
They just gave her a good tiny little shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But with like things like Bloodhound, like he's good with the thermal, but his thing where you like scans an area, it pretty much lets every team know where you are because it shoots out that little glowing thing and everybody can see it. So it's kind of giving away your own spot by scanning a location. And then he can go thermal, but then you don't know all the time if you're going to snipe someone, if they're inside a building or behind it or anything, right? You can't turn it off and on once it's on. So he's flawed, but he is good.
Right.
He is good.
That's shitty. You can't turn it off.
Yeah. I think Wraith is really good because she has that thing where, like, if someone's trying to snipe you, they'll let you know if someone's aiming near you.
Wow.
Right? So you'll know to move for cover. And then you could use that little thing where you go invisible.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right away, so that they don't know which way you went, but they can kind of see a little
Yeah,
flash.
exactly.
And then she has that portal if someone's running behind, and you can just get a whole team out of somewhere, or you can set traps where people come through a portal and you're just like behind it with a shotgun.
Good strategy.
Like that, yeah. Caustic is okay if you're like trapped somewhere. So if a bunch of people are inside one building, you can put traps on the doors and then throw one of those acid little bombs inside and kill them. You know, there's tactics you can use.
Yeah, for sure, because you flush them out too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the best three. I would have to say Lifeline,
Wraith.
No, Wraith. I don't think. I think Lifeline,
really?
Pathfinder. And
Wow.
Octane, yeah.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah. Wraith would be one of mine.
Yeah.
It's not many people play her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
weird.
why I wouldn't have her in the top three.
Kelly's top three.
For now.
Exactly. I'm sure it could change. It's such a good game.
There's other characters. Oh yeah, Mirage is pretty good too. I'd say Mirage and Wraith is like right up there.
Nice.
With the other three.
Yeah, I like Mirage. Mirage is good too. But I played a lot of Wraith. I liked Wraith.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a little while though. So many games out there right now. It's insanity. It's insanity. How's one supposed to keep up?
Bangalore is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She's decent. She's better. She's useful, and none of her abilities will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you blow smoke, it's usually because someone's shooting at you anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets like a speed boost on top of that, and then she has the bombs, which are gonna kind of be useless in the future. But
still, yeah, exactly. It was nice. It was nice. Let's do this. Reviewing the reviews. Going back, we've kind of experimented with some shit, different places. You know what I mean? Mostly food joints. You know what I mean? I was thinking, what am I going to do this week though? But I thought of the best. Going back to the well one time here from the first show. The best place with the craziest psychos, McDonald's. Man, you know what I mean? But I picked a good one. I picked a good McDonald's here. They're all I was hoping they'd all have a ridiculous amount of reviews, especially like McDonald's. You know what I mean? This one's close by. It's a bit in a harder neighborhood, I could say. You know what I mean? And it's got 1,117 reviews, Kelly. 3.2 stars. But
many people thought that you've never had McDonald's.
Yeah. Just in case you haven't had McDonald's, I'll let you know with my review.
This is what it's like having McDonald's in this location, except it's like that in every location.
Exactly. In Canada, that's how we eat our McD's. Let's do this here. It just writes itself. I can already see, obviously, the whack jobs. People wow, lots of 1 stars. Lots of 1 stars. There's a ton of 3s though. That's what's even crazier. 3s actually are the dominant number. That's good though. It's McDonald's. Okay, this guy here is right on the money. All right, cool. This one was just a month ago. They haven't had much. Oh, they do have a few a week ago. This guy here is right. This is one of the main ones. This is a 3-star here, Kelly. AM with 22 reviews, only 6 photos, 3 stars. And it's even weird. This is just so weird. They've gotten my order wrong in the past and didn't refund me the difference until I complained. The order was placed with a teller. Ordering through the self-serve station is better. Ugh. Though they shout your drinks way before your food. Shout? They shout your drinks. Drinks out! I think they usually give you a drink first. They shout your drink way, and he's got like a bunch of A's, way before your food. So it's easy to miss your tea or coffee.
I love that he says they didn't refund him until he complained. Like, it's like, how are they supposed to know they made a mistake unless you say something?
Exactly.
That's why it's a mistake, sir.
Exactly.
Until I said something.
Exactly. They knew the whole time they were trying to pull a fast one on me on my coffee.
They stole 35 cents.
This is just bean water. I wanted coffee.
I'm a senior.
But still, he gave him 3 stars. Above average.
You try to steal my 35 cents, but it's still good.
I don't think this is awesome. This guy. I don't think he knows how the point system works. Kelly, 3 stars. So they did good. They didn't do great. They did good. Yeah. Even though, according to his review, they did terrible.
Eventually, they refunded me. So I guess that's cool.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh my gilly golly. You can't make this shit up, man. Someone went out of their way. I'm going to read the name on this one. I never read the name. I'm reading the name on this one. The name is Climate Change. And what's even more fucked up, Kelly, this is their only review. Wow. One and only review. Wow. Climate Change.
And they didn't review Climate Change.
A month ago. They said, you know what I mean? I have paid for this name. I've paid for this name. No one else can use this name on Google except for me. Climate Change, number 1. I'm going to the source. A McDonald's in the lower mainland of British Columbia, Canada. That's where I'm going to. You can't make this shit up. I am serious. This is insanity. This is the insanity I look for right here. And the review is even better. The review's even better. The straws are toxic to the environment, and you can only use them once. So many of their garbage is in the landfills and in forests. They should use eco-friendly straws and other plastics. I do not recommend this place and would not go there. Short and sweet, too, but it's almost like, what a way to use your platform.
I'm convinced.
I am.
I'm never going
and especially,
to McDonald's again, you psychopath.
It's all about the straws, too. People didn't give a shit about plastic until a straw got stuck in a goddamn turtle's nose. People didn't give a shit about the plastic being poured in the ocean until that moment. You know what I mean?
Well, to an extent.
I know, but I'm just saying. Everyone always said, this guy's talking about straws.
Yeah.
Right? He's talking about straws.
Yeah, it's all coming down to straws nowadays.
It is. That's where the buck stops. The straws. I won't rest until turtles can be freed of the constraints of plastic, and never would they have to worry of a straw going up their nose again.
Well, they're getting rid of those plastic can, whatever you hold them together.
Yeah. Those are bad. Yeah, those are bad.
So they're getting rid of those, so they have to move on to something else.
Yeah, they're just built in bags.
So straws now.
I'm not saying anything bad about the environment. I'm not saying anything bad about the environment. But I'm just saying, like, for what a crazy person to use this platform to of all things, and they have like their profile picture is the Earth too. Somebody went out of their way to make this profile.
You know what it was?
Oh man, that is gold. That is gold.
Or something on the
I did. Yeah, I did.
They must have heard it.
They could have subliminally,
and they were like, "No, they're not gonna use plastic straws."
Hey, I get rid of plastic straws, but come up with something better than the paper straws. There's tons of options out there. Come up with something better.
I didn't mind them so much.
They suck. I got one of my Slurpee. It was terrible. I don't know why they did it in a Slurpee.
Because Slurpee
doesn't work.
Drinking for quite a while.
Doesn't work.
You're kind of sipping it.
Moving on. See, that's what's crazy is how many good reviews there are. This guy gave him 4 stars. LE. 30 reviews, 14 photos. 2 weeks ago, 4 stars. Basic McDonald's branch. You get what you came for. Nice order counter. Pretty okay service. So overall, pretty good.
Wow, thanks. Thanks.
Don't let this guy like make a speech at your wedding.
They're both about an 8.
On a good day.
Wife's maybe an 8.5, so he's doing a little bit better than her. Overall, pretty good. Pretty good match.
Pretty good match.
You're welcome.
Exactly. Overall, 2 stars. 2 stars to your marriage.
That's like your best man speech. Overall, 2 stars. Enjoy your night. Shit. Good times.
Yeah, this guy. Oh man, this guy here was very upset. Very upset. And this is the psychoticness I love to see too. The people who at least claim, you know what I mean? But I can believe that they do go there every single day. You know what I mean? Every single day. Like, you know what I mean? They go and get their morning breakfast at McDonald's. This guy, he actually has initials. JK. Only 9 reviews. I bet you if we looked at this dude, he's probably got like a ton of hate. Like, just all 1 stars. I go to this McDonald's every morning on my way to work. My order is the exact same each time and every time. He's putting it to the point here, folks. A medium double. He's got that all in. There's a lot of like phrases and stuff and exclamation points. So he's doing a lot of yelling in this too. And a bacon and egg bagel instead of egg substitute for sausage. That's your mistake right there.
Bacon sausage bagel?
I guess so, yeah. He gets no egg in his... Oh, no. Okay, I see, yeah. Bacon and sausage. But weird, yeah. Can't you just get isn't like a bagel belt? Isn't that what it is? And just get bacon on it. That's what this guy's going wrong right off the bat. 98% of the time, I get the incorrect order. Just like today. He'd had enough. He had enough. Oh, shit. I even state, can you please make sure I have the right order and a double-double? They say yes. Today, again, though, the drive-thru, I stated each and every time, make sure my order is correct. When I ordered it, I said... He's getting spit for sure. No, you're no wonder you're not getting your order messed up. You're getting spit in it as well. They're totally trolling this dude. So he placed an order. He's like, make sure you get it right this time. Yeah, okay. Jerk off.
I make minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly.
I can make minimum wage anywhere.
Exactly. When I paid, I stated it again. Oh, so this guy's a total piece of shit. Each and every time, make sure my order is correct. When I ordered it, I said, wow, this guy is just insane. And when I picked up my order, I stated again, my coffee was incorrect, but my bagel was correct. This time because I checked it right in the window. Yesterday, my coffee and bagel were incorrect. This guy's just going nuts. Same as day prior. I just don't understand. It's quite frustrating driving back all the way from work, not being able to have breakfast, and then having to order to get something delivered. It's a piss off. So he doesn't eat it. He doesn't eat it. I'm not eating it. It doesn't have sausage in it. It just has egg in it. Not eating it. Not eating it. Can't eat it. Can't drink my coffee either. No way in hell can I drink my coffee. They gave me a triple or a single. Can't do it. And then, so now I'm going to order stuff. I paid for it. I can't go back. I'm going to now order other food.
Skip the dishes.
It's a piss off. The staff are great, but order is always, always incorrect. And it's getting quite frustrating. Oh my gilly golly.
Every day.
This guy is hilarious. That takes the cake, man. 5 stars. 5-star rating for this dude for being an absolute psycho. He repeated himself for like 3 sentences. They always get it wrong. I repeated myself to them. I repeated myself to them. I repeated myself every time. Every person that would talk to me, I said, don't make sure it's right. I'm pulling people out from the back. Hey, you back there.
Make sure it's right.
Make sure this order's right. Love this place. Well, let's finish it off with something good and sweet. One person, SW, 40 reviews, 1 photo, 1 star. This guy too, 1 star. Short and sweet. I can't stomach the beef products. Plain and simple. That's it.
Okay. Nice to know, sir.
That's it. Oh my god. I just love, especially the people going out of their way, like.
And they're beef products too, not their like mechanically separated chicken shit stuck together and made into a sandwich.
Exactly.
Like, which is delicious. Don't get me wrong.
Delicious.
But the beef products you have an issue with? I'm pretty sure it's all Canadian beef. Like
It's
the stuff that actually gets delivered in Canada. Like it's mostly local, I think.
It has. I think it has to
yeah.
be some bit of it's got to be
think
meat.
McDonald's uses local beef.
They must. Oh, I think they do. They can't say it and not do it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we ran a little long here with that goofiness here. Let's call a quick little breather here. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Water's #1 miracle is growing. Water your plants and flowers today, folks, with temperatures soaring into the 30s. That's Celsius. Be sure to water your plants, flowers, and vegetables. Water, creating life since the beginning of time. Just think about it. All you need is dirt, add a little water, and bang! You've got plants.
Magic!
Brought to you by the Water Corporation. We've owned water since day 1, too. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our sponsors, and go grab yourself a tall, cold glass of water on the house. Tap water, that is. Coming down this weekend, Friday seems like forever ago with how great of a card Bellator 222 was. Rory, the Red King McDonald, takes on Nima Gracie. Great card, Kelly, eh? Great card. I watched most of it too. I even caught some of the undercard, which wasn't bad. You know, I just caught some of the undercard, which was good. I really liked it. You know, Bellator really mixes in a lot of these like almost basically amateur fights. You know, dudes making their debut, or you know, what I mean, the guys who are 1-0 or shit like that. And you got to have those. And I like that. You know, there was a ton of fights on this card, tons of them. They had all 18 matches. Like that's insane to sit through all that. That's a lot of time to sit through. But still, I would if I had tickets. You know, that'd be a ton of fun. Madison Square Garden went down in New York. Loving it, but what I was kind of shocked by but it was kind of a good move at the same time, switching it up. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Add something new. Having the 135-pound belt with Koji Hiraguchi taking on Darian Caldwell. I thought to have that as the first fight of the main card, I thought was a little bit odd, but hot tamales. Did those guys ever put on a great show? With not Darren Caldwell, but Koji Hiraguchi. The first round was good. Second and third round were kind of snorefests and because of Darren Caldwell. But talk about a dude who is strong as hell. Koji Horiguchi, so well-rounded. How he dealt with that wrestling smother the whole time. He really wasn't much he could do. But he did a really, really good job with it and becoming the new cross-promotion champion. Never has this. I don't think this ever happened before. You know what I mean? In the age we are in MMA right now, you know what I mean? Even, back in the day, for a dude to have 2 belts in pretty major organizations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else has done that? Dan Henderson had the 2 belts. He came over and got beat. Rampage was he wasn't really the champ, but still for him to come over, like, how crazy is that? Koji Horiguchi, 135-pound. They're now calling it Ryzen. It's not Risen anymore. It's Ryzen champ, and also the 135-pound Bellator champ. Huge move by this dude.
Paid.
Yeah, big time. Huge win for him to take it. Even though Caldwell really made it kind of a snore fest, he put on a great show, and I'm glad the judges awarded him the win. You know what I mean? Caldwell was just fighting way too safe, obviously, and I think he was, after the 3rd round, he was really just fighting for the win to not lose, and ultimately lost with zero. He would get like a scramble takedown. It wasn't even really a takedown, and then really do nothing with that offense. Terrible. Juan Archuleta taking on Dudu Eduardo Dantes. Another ankle twisting, head bouncing, looking up at the lights knockout by Juan Archuleta. Huge KO. And, man, Dudu just had surgery on his ankle for twisting it from being knocked out before. He has a plate in his fucking ankle. How can you even still fight with a plate in your ankle? And here he gets knocked out and twists his ankle again. You know what I mean? Like, that is just nasty stuff. Huge knockout for Juan Archuleta. This dude is tough at 145. He's like a little pit bull. Very scrappy, super explosive, if I can say anything good about this Juan Archuleta dude. And here we are seeing the flip of the coin with the Bellator undercard. It was so amateur. There were some real killers on this card, and Bellator came out with a stacked card. All these dudes can really hang. All these guys could easily hang in the UFC too, and I was very impressed with Juan Archuleta's performance tonight. Moving on to another huge one. Here, Bellator does it again as well with my other take. Homegrown products. Patrick Mix. Did you catch this fight, Kelly?
Yeah.
Against Ricky Bandejas. You know what I mean? The dude who knocked out James Gallagher and was on a tear himself. And he just gets manhandled by Patrick Mix. And in the move, like, this Ricky Bandejas guy was tough as nails. He's going to be one of their next stars. And here this dude comes from out of nowhere. I think he was like a 3 belt champ in King of the Cage. And it shows. He's actually from, I think, New Mexico, but he actually fights out of New York. 6 degrees of separation. Patrick Patchy Mix. What a weird last name. I wonder if that's his real last name. Do you think he changed it, or do you think his dad changed it or something? Yeah. He seems like a weird dude. So
25.
Yeah, super young. Yeah, 25. Fighting at 135. That's insane. It's 135. That is insane. No, I think he must have been fighting at 145. Biggest win of his career in a finish in 1 minute. That the way he took his back effortlessly, had a game plan, jumped on his back, instantly had the body triangle in, and then just the hand fighting, he just couldn't do it. He just was way too tough for him. Huge win. He really hasn't beaten anybody else, though. There's a lot of fights, obviously, in King of the Cage, which is a good organization. Is they've, back in the earlier days of MMA in the early 2000s, they cranked out all the great guys, and here we go, a guy who came through the ranks of King of the Cage to move to Bellator and make the most with a huge statement in his weight class, moving to 11-0. I wanted to see how, because I think he's finished most of his fights too, I think, crazily enough. Open it up, damn it. Let's see here. He's got 3 decisions. Most are by KO. He's got 1 KO, 7 submissions, 3 decisions. So that's a pretty good record if you want, the big money to come and call in is with the finishes, obviously. Flawless execution. I think that's what I got to say about the flawless execution. Dylan Danis. You want to talk about a dude who had a total bum to fight, beating Max Humphrey by armbar. Dylan the douchebag Danis goes on another win. He's just an amazing grappler. I think that's just me. I'm a little bit jealous of him. He's an amazing grappler, one of the best in the world, and he's tough dude. They gave him a bit of a can with this one because he just manhandled the shit out of him. You know what I mean? They give him these like doughy American, college wrestler dudes. You know what I mean? They just never really turn out. You know what I mean? And we see another one here with Max Humphrey. But, he's one of their stars they're trying to build, and he has another big statement win. That takes us to the co-main event of the evening. Lyoto, the Dragon Machida, takes on Chael, the American Gangster Sonnen. Good. Wasn't terrible. I think Lyoto looked a little bit doughy. To talk about somebody who was a little bit out of shape, Kelly. What did you think about that one? It was,
I thought it looked pretty good, actually.
Yeah. No, I think for movement wise, I think he was pretty good.
Yeah.
But he was back at 205. He even fight 185 for a while, so I'm sure he's putting on a little bit of the pounds. It was actually healthy for him too. But wowzer, those knees, man, those perfectly timed knees. Did a good job of kind of confusing Chael, and then eventually realizing, I'm definitely don't want to grapple with him at all, but I'm going to expose his terrible striking. And that's what he did. And Lyoto, the Quest killer Machida, taking on another Team Quest guy, and with a finish too, flying knee. It's was too much for Chael. My hat goes off to Chael, obviously, how tough he was to take that first knee in the first round, and till the way he toppled over too. I thought for sure he was out. And much like his predecessor, Randy, the Natural Couture, he gets retired by Lyoto Machida too. Retiring. Like, what a crazy stat for Lyoto Machida to have retired Chael Sonnen and Randy Couture. You know what I mean? Two dudes who thought, like, nah, I can still fight, and then they got knocked out by Lyoto Machida. Like, nah, I'm good.
That's it for me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get knocked out like that again. Statement win for Lyoto. You know what I mean? I think it was a good win for him. Sonnen's retirement, I'm not really going to take it seriously. You know what I mean? Maybe he's retiring from Bellator. You know what I mean? But I definitely, for a dude to retire, the one thing that comes to mind, Kelly, there are tons of reports out about Chael talking about how big of a check that WWE was going to write for him. It was huge. It was a 6-figure number. A 7-figure number, and I think maybe he's coming to MMA. I mean, WWE. I think he's coming to WWE. He'd be an idiot not to. With his mouth, I think it works out perfectly, and we'll see. We'll see.
He could be huge.
Yeah, exactly. I could see it. Yeah, for sure. I could see it. What do you think, Kelly? Do you think he retires though from MMA?
I think he comes back for a couple of super fights later on, kind of like Chuck Liddell, and loses.
Yeah, exactly. I could see him fighting Tito again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a fight I could see that could happen again.
But I think he does well in WWE. So hats off to him.
Yeah.
Finally makes some money.
Yeah. I think he's doing good with his commentating gig, you know what I mean? Right. Being a fight expert, and I think his podcast is super popular too, you know what I mean? So I think he's definitely not hard up for dough. That's for sure. That brings us to the main event: Rory McDonald versus Nima Gracie. It was okay, actually. I liked it. What did you think? What's your initial thought? What was your initial thought of like the first few rounds, Kelly, of that fight? Like, did you enjoy it? Did you?
Man, I'm always like on the edge of my seat with the Rory McDonald.
Yeah.
And he had that like 7-yard stare like he did before.
Yeah.
Like just where he stares at him blankly, but it's that like psychopathic look in his eye.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he's back.
Yeah, no, he totally had that look. Of that, weird kid that's gonna eat your face afterwards.
Yeah, and he's been posting like a lot of training pictures.
Oh, that's
on
good.
Instagram too. He's looking pretty jacked.
Yeah.
Man. He's looking pretty big.
Yeah, I think we saw him again. He was really working. He was really working his striking against Nima. Obviously exposing the one weakness of his game. And I think the biggest thing was the few submissions he got out of. Nima was good. He had a few good takedowns. There was a few better takedowns by the Red King in Rory McDonald. He had a few great trip slam takedowns, and that's obviously be a good big confidence booster for him. Getting out of those submissions and then getting takedowns on Nima Gracie, and really, he really landed the better of the shots. That I think it was that spinning back fist too. Really messed him up too. It was actually a good fight. Good win for Rory McDonald. It was great for Nima Gracie to actually get that loss. Maybe it was a bit too high for him, but he didn't look bad. I think that's the thing. He didn't look terrible. And maybe having a loss against one of the best welterweights in the absolute world. Top five welterweight in the absolute world. Rory McDonald. So it's no knock on him. He went to the decision with him. So I think Nima Gracie's future is going to be bright, especially underneath the Bellator banner.
How old is he?
Pretty damn young.
Yeah, he looks pretty young. He must have a long career ahead of him.
30.
Oh, okay, he's not that young.
No, he's not that young. Still, he's still at a good age.
Yeah.
Good age. He has been fighting since 2013. So he's got a decent amount of time underneath his belt, you know what I mean?
Could technically fight for another 10 years depending on how much punishment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally see that. There was another Gracie on the card too, so it was a Gracie stacked card. Good event though. Great event. I loved how it went down. Can't say enough good things about it. I was just loving it the whole show, man. It was great. Robson Gracie Jr. also had a really nice armbar in the prelims. That was far down there too. I'm sure there was a lot of because that's where Henzo's gym is. I know a lot of Gracies have moved to New York because it's cool there, obviously. But great Bellator coming down the pipe. We got big UFC coming up next weekend as well.
Bare knuckle boxing too, right?
Yeah, bare knuckle boxing next weekend. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually excited for that one.
It's Lubov versus what's his name?
Yeah, Magalanadiana.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Malaginini.
And he's the one who kind of like was training with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
McGregor posted that video of him knocking him down a few times and some pictures and stuff.
Yep.
And now he's mad and he's trying to get his rage out on Artem.
Kind of a weird thing, I hate you, so I'm gonna beat up your little brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't wait for it though, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm almost more excited for that than the UFC, even though the UFC is pretty stacked.
Yeah, they're both good, you know what I mean? But still, I think they're gonna definitely get garner views with that main event. Good for the World Bare Knuckle Boxing Championship.
Those guys are gonna look like crazy scars all over their faces.
Oh, they're gonna be like hamburger afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't see this organization lasting too long, just for that reason alone.
Yeah, the fighters won't last long.
No,
man.
exactly. That's what I was saying a few episodes ago. Like Lobov can't that Lobov versus Knight fight was absolutely insane. Their face was totally hamburger afterwards.
Yeah.
People can't take a beating like that.
Yeah, and then it just creates scars that break open again.
Yeah, exactly.
You have them all over your whole face.
Exactly. Not gonna work.
Yeesh. You know when you have those scars and through your eyebrows and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Really grow. Well, they're gonna have it all through their everything.
Their their
face,
chin, and their cheekbones.
Yeah.
That was always Nate Diaz's problem. Remember in his earlier career. Remember that
Yeah,
he always
busting open.
he'd always could get cut just with the slightest touch.
Yeah.
He would always get cut open.
And then the ref would be like, no, stop, you're done.
I know. Yeah, exactly. When they would stop it back then because of a cut, but sometimes he's bleeding bad. I'll never forget. It was I think it was the rematch with Mayhem Miller versus Jacare in Dream. I think it was for the 185 belt, and it was the weirdest cut ever. 'Cause I think it was the main event.
Yeah.
And Jacare he kind of caught a heel Like it was almost like the side of Mayhem Miller's foot on the top of his head, and it like cut open like the top, like the crown of his head, like super bad. Like it was like it was just like gushing and gushing and gushing. Yeah. They actually like wrap like a towel around his head and try to continue the fight, like with this towel wrapped around his head, and eventually they had to stop the fight because he was just gushing blood. There was so much blood, and they had to stop the fight because it was too much blood.
Just put one of those swimming caps on it. And
there you go. Yeah, they should have had you on the doc. You should have been the doctor there. Just tape it up so the blood doesn't leak out. That's a good idea.
Put a few staple. Why don't they just get a staple gun?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, go fight.
Boom. Done. Oh shit.
You want to finish a fight or not?
Exactly. You aren't getting paid.
You get the staple gun.
Oh shit. Well, that about wraps up this week's show, folks. Call her a night here. Kelly, you got anything else you want to talk about, my man?
I put a water bottle holder on my Ruckus. Yeah.
Water bottle holder on my Ruckus.
That's right.
Nice.
That's my first mod.
You got to Instagram it.
Might be my only mod.
Did you Instagram it?
I did not.
Ah, come on.
Maybe I will tomorrow.
Hit the gram. Hit us up on Twitter, folks, at And New Podcast. Steven and Kelly's And New Podcast. You might like it.
That's pretty good.
I
like it.
Yeah, exactly. I like it too. Listen to it all the time. Well, for myself and co-host and producer extraordinaire, you've been listening to the And New Podcast. Signing off.